Is swatting hard to prove? Yeah, swatting is insanely fucking hard to prove. How do you do it? Let's say that I go and I buy, so let's say we look for like a VPN. What's like a country that doesn't cooperate with the United States a lot, right? Could I like, I don't know, I would have to look into this more, but like, we could go and find like a VPN in Russia, right? Or VPN in some Eastern European country or some shit or even some fucking, I don't know. I don't know enough about this area to know like which country doesn't cooperate with the US the most. But like, let's say that I go and I find a VPN in one of these countries. I buy a VPN, pay $7 a month or some shit, right? I log into the VPN from my computer and then I use a mobile or like a VoIP service to call a phone, right? Let's say that I get onto Google Phone or whatever and I use that to call the police in your local area and I SWAT you. How does a police catch me there, right? Like, just imagine, as simple as that is, right? We could do this in 10 minutes on stream probably, right? As simple as that is, how does the police catch you there? Well, if the police look up phone records, okay, maybe they see a voice over IP call from Google, okay? So, okay, well, there we go. So step one, okay? Now we have to subpoena Google to find out what IP address made that voice over IP call, okay? Now, from there, we have to, now the IP address comes back as belonging to like a Russian ISP or whatever. Then I think you would have to subpoena the ISP to find out who owns that IP address, right? Then you would have to subpoena the company that owns the IP address, the VPN service, for their records. And then once you've subpoenaed their records, you would have to determine who made the call from that point. This is only assuming they're using a single VPN, right? Like if you chain them together or if you're on tour or something like that, like the amount of work, and this is all assuming that Russia will cooperate with you or that the company will cooperate with you, that they have the right records, that you can determine from those records who placed the phone. Like there's so much shit that's going on here. Yeah, someone in chat said you're assuming the VPN keeps records. Yeah, you have to assume the VPN is keeping records, that everything is where, like, there's so much shit you have to go through. You're talking like, this is like Interpol level, like international investigation, the cooperation of multiple federal and state and local like services working together in order to determine who placed a phone call. Like, it's fucking insane the amount of work that you would have to go to. Yeah, and then once you get through all of this, you might, like, even all of this is only going to get you an IP address at a residence, right? Let's say that you do go through all of that. Let's say that you're able to subpoena Google. You can find out which IP placed the phone call. Say you subpoena and get cooperation with a foreign country. You get them to subpoena the ISP. And then you subpoena the company that the IP goes back to. Say that VPN service is keeping good records, and you subpoena, and you find out from the records the IP, you subpoena the ISP, right? Say the ISP is able to give you a location, right? And it has to be, it would have to be what the DHCP had assigned at the time, right? Because the IPs could change, right? Then you find out which house the IP address belonged to. Now you have to prove that the person that made the call on the computer was on that computer when the IP address was traced back to that computer. Like, there's so much shit you have to go through to find, like, yeah, it's just really, really, really difficult. Holy shit. And imagine you go through all of this work. Imagine you go through all of this work and you find out that let's say that you find out that the call was placed in a public area. What if they went to a McDonald's or a Starbucks and they just logged into their VPN or whatever? Or I'm sorry, they logged into a VPN from the restaurant there. Now you have to, subpoena Starbucks or McDonald's and go through camera logs and hope that a security camera maybe caught the person. Like, there's so much shit you have to go through. You should never get caught swatting. Like, it's just too easy to not get caught. It's trivial. It's insane. Yeah.